everybody. My name is Catherine Corona. I'm the founder of Soul and Spirit Daily Spiritual Practice Program, Daily Spiritual Practice and Meditation Program. It's probably looks like that I've found the only meditation program with a spiritual basis that comes from that helps guide you towards your soul and your spirit, your heart of hearts. So, my name's Catherine Corona, and today I've been talking about manifesting from your soul and your spirit. That part of you, which is your highest self, your most beautiful, that part that has those moments where you're deeply touched and you know it, deeply touched and moved in your soul, in your spirit. And I've been talking about how to connect more deeply, how to develop a relationship with your soul and your spirit, and in your meditation. This, if you could see, this is my little cat here, came to visit. What are you doing? I don't know if you can see this. This is pretty funny. Wanted to, never has sat on my lap. This is Callie, because I thought she was a calico, but she's not a calico. She's a tortoise shell. There she goes. So this is all new to her because I'm in this new studio I have, and it's just fun for something new. And she's climbing all over the table here. So life and spirit. Basically, we're talking about our daily lives, our ordinary lives, and our spiritual life. Because I'm sure you've heard it before, but we are spiritual beings embodied in a physical form. So we are spiritual beings. This is where we come from. We come from spirit. We come from that refined beauty that creates everything. And it's not necessarily, it's not physical, right? Here is physical. And here is the place where we have our lessons, where we have our trials and our tribulations so that we can learn those lessons. Here's the place where we experience physicality, because in our soul and spirit there's a body, there's a form there, but it's not physical. It'd be more, you might call it ethereal or etheric or just refined in a way that's not physical. And in the soul and the spirit, which is where we come from. Whoops, cat just jumped off. In the soul and spirit, where we come from, because we were first created out of soul, out of spirit. Originally, in creation, there was no substance. There was a formlessness, but a vibrational energy, an energetic, a sound. People call it, throughout the Sufi traditions, Hindu traditions, even into Native Americans, some of the Native American traditions, this breath of God, this voice of the heart in Judaism, this nod, sometimes it's called in Hinduism, nam, the name, and it's a flow of vibrational energy, a sound. We can even hear it as a music, the celestial melodies, the music of the spheres, it's been called. And you may have heard it. You may have heard it in your experiences, just a glimpse or a glimmer, or maybe you hear it in its fullness. If you haven't identified it, but you know what I'm talking about, the sound of the spheres, the sound of the heart, it rings, it has a ring throughout creation. And this is also called the sound current. And we can connect in with the sound current, and as if you're stepping in to a gentle, warm river that just takes you. And in that flow of that eternal energy, we are taken back to our home. So when we meditate, one of the meditations, there's many types of meditations. Some of the programs out there are sort of psychologically based. You work with your breath, you work with affirmations, and those are all great, well and good. But doing a transcendent soul meditation takes you through your own individualized, unique soul into the greater soul, into the spirit, into that flow of those celestial melodies. And when you step into that flow, that takes you right back to where you were created, into your original self, into your truest form. And you can know that while you exist and live here by opening your spiritual eyes, by inviting it in, by opening your awareness. And in that, you develop a relationship with your soul, with your spirit, and what is beyond, what created you, where we were originally created. Originally as a spark, in Theosophy and other traditions, they call it a spark of the divine. So divinity, that whatever name you want to use, God, divinity, spirit, the Tao, that consciousness, the oneness, the formless ultimate consciousness, Sugmad in Hinduism, that we are at once a part of, we are that, and we are a small part of that, and we come here to know that, and to know that great consciousness in all its forms, including our form, but in the natural forms, the mountains and the rivers, the bears. I have bears in they come and visit my property, and in the morning I go and I see where the bears were, because they leave their trail. And the bears, the mountain lions, the deer, the fishes of the sea, all spark of the creator inside of them. And all humans have that spark. That is our highest self, our highest nature, our true self. And when we choose to go back to knowing that, to opening our awareness in its fullness, to knowing the fullness of where we come from, then our lives, our everyday lives, as ordinary, they will, as they are and will continue to be, also become extraordinary. Extraordinary in that we then merge with our destiny, fulfilling our destiny, and we merge with the divine self that created us, and ourselves become more expressions, more true and pure expressions of the divine self. And that is no matter what you may have done in life, where you have come from, all is renewed. In a sense, we are born again afresh every time we step back into our divinity. We are born again. That's what born again means. Christianity may have a definition of that. But we are reborn, remembered into the wholeness, into the oneness of what we truly are. And as we do our ordinary lives, our lives become extraordinary. And whatever you want to manifest, I've been talking this month about manifesting from divinity, comes to you with more ease, and only that which is for you to fulfill your destiny and for you is realized. So sometimes if you go, oh, I've been trying to manifest a new car, a new job, a new house, and it's just not coming. You can just say it wasn't for your highest good at this time. It'll have its own timing. And that you can rest assured on. We are meant to have what fulfills us. Not necessarily everything. We can, it's said, we can have anything, but not everything. Can you imagine if just everything came to you all at once? It would be overwhelming. You be impossible to handle. We never get what we can't handle. Sometimes it brings us to our edge, right? Probably everybody has experienced that. But we only get what we can handle. And it may bring us to the edge of what we can handle, which is what brings us also through our next lesson, our next step. So why do these sparks of the divine even come to this physical planet where things can be slow and hard and a slog, and there's diseases, and there's war, and there's so many crazy things, and there's people out there, especially right now anyway, that are doing things that maybe we couldn't have imagined a few years ago. And yet here we are. It's all meant for us as a collective to learn the next steps, and as for us individually to learn the next steps, that to make us stronger in our souls, more fulfilled, brighter, more beautiful, more abundant, more prosperous, healthier, wealthier, and wiser. And with all that, we then share it with others, because that's the true meaning of our lives. The greatest meaning for our lives is when we serve and share. It makes us happy, it makes others happy. So I hope that may have inspired something here on this beautiful, beautiful day. And just as a reminder, there's blessings everywhere, and they abound. May those blessings fill every part of your life and all those you share your life with. Namaste.